The reason you're still losing games in Madden 26 is because your gameplay is on an MMG level instead of a Henry level. Luckily for you, in this video, I'm going to change that with 5 pro tips that'll transform the way you play here in Madden 26. If you're tired of giving up corner routes or want to learn how to speed boost, this is going to be the best video you watch today. So make sure you watch till the end because the last tip is going to transform your gameplay the most. Let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to break down are some secret settings that not enough people are talking about right now, but all the pros have mastered. Let me show you. Alright, so if we come into, we pause the game, we come into options, we come into settings, we come into game options. We scroll down until we find our gameplay helpers. Here it is, defensive heat seeker assist. You need to make sure that you have this turned on with your window set to at least 100%, alright, or higher, just depending on how you feel. Although I've been using this all year, I feel like 100% is going to be able to get the job done. So what we're going to see is this is really going to help you in all situations when you're tackling, but especially when you're trying to stop the run. So for example, we've talked about a lot of automatic run defenses here this year from mid blitz, right? From dime 3-2, from cub. But what we're going to see is if we just stand inside the butt of the D tackle, we're going to be able to walk in free. But you see how at the end of that play, I was able to dive tackle the ball carrier. And as we know, a lot of people are really good at speed boosting once they get to the second level or into open space. So when you're able to not only walk in the backfield free, but also dive tackle the ball carrier, basically as soon as he touches the ball or sometimes even before, you're going to make it to where it's impossible for them to pick up any consistent or good yards on the ground. So you're going to notice how, again, now you just have to trust your lab work, trust me, because if you take this play, cover 4 quarters from dime 3-2, and stand inside the butt of your defensive tackle, you're going to walk in the backfield instantly, right? And then just be able to dive tackle that guy. Again, you do not want to press A to conservative tackle him or do anything else or even let the computer make the tackle. You want to press X on Xbox, square on PlayStation to dive tackle that man, cut out his legs, and prevent him from being able to speed boost away. So we go through it one last time here. I come in free, and you just see how at that last second, it was kind of a weak attempt at first, but then I'm able to just suction tackle his legs and bring him down. This is going to make your run defense and just your tackling overall so much better. As you see, you just get this suction tackle, he falls to the ground, and we're able to get him down on the ground. So really, that's the first setting here that I want to break down that's kind of a secret, is having heat seeker assist turned on to make your dive tackles even better. But next, I want to come in, break down an offensive setting here. It's going to be auto pass protection. You want to make sure that you have this turned onto base, because what you're going to notice is we can call any play like slot post right here, and what we're going to see is if we look at our pass protection, it looks like this. This is standard. This is how it's supposed to look, right? But what can happen is there's going to be times where EA will randomly give you pass protection like built into your play. So for example, right here, they might randomly half slide our offensive line all the way to the right? And I'm telling you, that's how the play kind of just is, right? If you don't change it, that's how it's going to be when you snap the ball. The problem with that, it's not going to cost you every time, but if they blitz you, think about it, they blitz you off of the other side, so if they blitz you off the left here and you're half sliding right, I mean, a guy's just going to come in completely clean off that edge and sack your quarterback just because your whole line sliding, right? And it's even worse when EA decides that they want to full slide your offensive line in one direction and then they blitz you off of the other side. So we go with something like this, where this time we have a full slide, and that time 2 guys come in completely clean. So again, you wouldn't know that unless you're just looking at your pass protection, you're conscientious of it. So really the best way to kind of alleviate that is to just put base protection on. So you're going to you can do it in the settings menu, coaching adjustments like I showed you, or if you forget, which sometimes I forget to do it before the game, you're going to press LB and then left stick down to turn on base protection. And now what you're going to notice is that if they try to blitz us, there's going to be times where yes, the slot corner still comes in clean, especially because he has a flame icon over his head, but now 2 people aren't going to come in free, and now I have a lot more awareness of the fact that someone can come in clean. So the slot corner actually gets blocked right here because we're in base protection and we're better able to allocate our blockers to help, defend the pass rush, right? You're able to see they're blitzing 5 people. We have 5 blockers, so we should be able to pick this up. And because we're in base protection, our guard is able to slide over, block this guy, and now we have plenty of time to throw. So really, those are the 2 secret settings that you need to make sure you have turned on. Heat Seeker Assist is going to help you make those dive tackles, suction tackles in the backfield against run plays and really in pass plays as well. But then also base protection is going to help your pass protection a whole lot because you're not going to let EA screw you over. All right, the next thing that all the pro players truly have mastered is being able to stop corner routes. No good player is just going to let you throw corner routes on them, and so let me show you the best way to make sure that can't happen to you as well. Alright, so we're going to come into our coaching adjustments by pressing the right stick in on defense here, and we're going to scroll to our flats. We're going to put our flats on 25 with our curl flats on 5. This is what we're going to call the double maple coverage, and it's really something that you don't want to necessarily use every play, but it's really, really effective against corner routes. So what you're going to notice right here is if we look at our play art, we have those blue cloud flat zones. Because we have our flats on 25, you're telling those blue zones to drop back to 25 yards. And now if you look at the play art, that's all the confirmation that you need. Now they're going to drop back to 25 yards and defend that area of the field, which as we know is exactly where corner routes are going to run to, because now you're going to see how not only do we have a deep zone there, but then also our 25-yard flat is dropping back to defend that area. Also, if they put like a shriek on the field as well to, run off the deep zone, you're still going to have this flat, as you see number 30's back there guarding Chris Godwin on that left side, and we're just going to be playing lockdown defense on their corners. So boom, you're just able to see how we're sitting at that spot, and it's going to be lockdown defense to stop the corner. Now, the question, right, or the kind of complaint that people might have is BLT, well, now you're just going to give up these underneath throws, right? Because you have a flat dropping back to 25 yards, and you're absolutely right, because now they can very easily just throw that pass to Bucky Irving and pick up a first down on the sideline because there's not an additional flat on that side. So really how we're going to solve that is that's why we have our curl flat set to 5. Now we're going to just put our slot corner in a curl flat by pressing Y twice and then press Y again, so Y 3 times, and then left stick to the right. So now we're going to have our slot corner in a curl flat at 5 yards because of our zone drops, and then we're going to have a guy dropping back to 25 yards to defend the corner out. So what we're going to see now is we are going to motion out our running back. We are going to put him on an out route, and now we're going to be able to defend all 3 levels. We're going to have our deep zone guard the shriek, our 25 guard the corner, and our 5 guard the out. So that's exactly what you're going to see. Whereas now when they go to throw that pass to Bucky Irving, I mean, if we could make a tackle, we have that guy locked down. So, I mean, it just depends on can your corner actually not be soft. But even if the best part about it, though, is it's the same thing on the other side. That's why we call it the double Mabel, because the Mabel is just one side. So let's just say they change it up on you now, where now they call the flood concept to the left side, or excuse me, to the right side here. Well, that's why you don't want to only make it the adjustment on one side. You want to do it on both sides. So now the defense looks something like this, where you have a 25 on both sides and a 5 on both sides. This time you press D-pad right twice, then click onto your linebacker by pressing A, and then put them in a curl flat just like this. So now you're going to be able to defend the flood underneath. Boom, just like that, because you have a 5-yard flat, but then also you're going to be able to defend that deep corner the same way that you were able to on the last play, simply because you have a man dropping this far back, to be able to defend it, right? If I waited longer, he's going to drop back. He just came down because I threw the pass, but it's the same thing on both sides. Understand, though, that you're kind of leaving the middle of the field open, so that's why I say you should really only use this coverage when you're playing against heavy flood concept players, because now your user essentially has to control the whole middle of the field. But it's still really effective when they call plays like this, because now they're only attacking the sideline, so the sideline is the only thing that we're able to defend. You're able to see, we're able to guard it really well on both sides, take away their corners, take away the underneath passes, simply by changing up our zone drops to the double Mabel coverage. Alright, so if you found anything I've been breaking down here in this video helpful, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks for you guys every single day to help you get better, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But these first 2 tips and the next 3 that I have to come are only a piece of the full puzzle that's going to help you out here in Madden 26. So make sure you go down below to the pinned comment and join Madden University, where you're going to get your first month of all my written breakdowns for only $1. You can save all of the breakdowns on your phone. There's reference videos, everything you're going to need to dominate on both sides of the ball. And again, it's only $1 your first month. Please don't let $1 be the reason you're still struggling to win games here in Madden 26. Join Madden U today, and let's jump right back into the video. Because the next pro secret that I want to break down is a way to know the blitz is coming every single time, identify it, and then know where to beat it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so we're going to call any play here on offense, and we're going to have them be in any play here on defense. And I kind of actually alluded to this earlier in the video, but it's recognizing flame icons, because if you play like MUT or franchise mode, there's this ability called threat detector, which is a little bit better than what I'm about to show you here, but everyone can't get threat detector if you're playing regs, or sometimes you're playing MUT franchise, everyone doesn't have it. But here's another way to identify the blitz. You're looking at these flame icons over the head of these defenders. So this is telling me that if number 0 or this slot corner on the left side, if they blitz, the offensive line is going to let them come in free. Now, I would say it has about a 75-80% success rate. There's times where EA tells you that those guys are going to come in free, but they don't actually end up coming in free. But it is a good reference guide to know, okay, if this guy blitzes, I need to know who to get rid of the ball to, and I need to know that I'm going to get screamed at. So right here, neither of them blitz, so now I know I have plenty of time to step up in the pocket, take off, or hit my passes down the field. So I have them in random defense, but there's pretty much going to be flame icons over the head of guys every play. This time he blitzes, and so you see how right there, number 23 comes in clean, right? Just because I knew, but I knew he was going to, because I saw the flame icon over his head. So boom, take it. This is the guy, him and him. Right? So we take the snap. I see only one of them blitzes, but they told me he's coming in clean, so now I'm ready to go. Now I certainly could have hit this pass. That probably would have been a better read, but we still hit this completion over here, you know, to our underneath drag. So again, I have them in just different looks right here. I see how this guy on the edge has a flame icon, the middle linebacker does, right? So I take the snap, one of them blitzes, and he comes in clean, and he gets a sack. So it's like, that would tell me that I need to get rid of the ball faster. Don't play. Like I said, it's about 75-80% of the time, so I honestly think that's pretty good. But here's the thing. Even when it's wrong, that still benefits you. Because if they tell you he's going to come in clean, but he doesn't, that's fine. Like, I like that, right? So it's like, but you want to always use it as a guide to say, okay, I'm going to get rid of the ball right here. You know, neither of those guys that they told me could come in free ended up coming in free, and so I have plenty of time to make my read, you know, underneath and find my guy. So again, right here now, it looks like there's 2 flame icons, so those 2 guys, boom, and neither of them blitz, so now I have plenty of time to step up and hit my backside dig, speed boost away, and get all the way up to the 2-yard line. So it's really a great reference guide to determine, hey, is a guy going to come in free or not? Okay, both of them blitz. I know I got to get rid of the ball. I did, but pass got batted down. So really, that's how these pro players and how any experienced player here in Madden 26 is going to know where to get rid of the ball and know when you're blitzing, because they're going to see who EA is telling them is going to come in free, and they're going to see, okay, are those guys blitzing? And now this is really just going to help your pass protection out a lot, and it's going to help your read progression out a lot, because now you're not necessarily going to be worried about the blitz. You're just checking the guys before the play. It's kind of rare that someone without a flame icon ends up coming in free. So again, quick recap, just read these flame icons over the head of defenders. If one of them ends up blitzing, know that and know where to get rid of the ball, because you're probably going to get screamed at. Alright, before I jump to those final 2 tips that you're absolutely not going to miss here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content I have. But let's jump into those final 2 tips. Which that next one is going to be a way to get instant pressure on the quarterback every single time. Let me show you how to user lock and use it effectively. Alright, so this is really effective when you pair this with custom stunts or a blitz. So I'm going to pair this with a custom stunt right here. I'm going to come into nickel 3-3 load mug, and I'm going to call the left pirate 3-man custom stunt. Now what I'm going to do is shift my defensive line to the left just like this, and I'm going to actually reset my zone drops here. And then, so I told you the double maple earlier in the video. Unless you're going to be running it on the next play, make sure you reset your zone drops back. I forgot to do it, and so it almost cost me right there. But back to user locking. Shift your D-line left here from this blitz, and then how you're going to user lock is there's 2 ways. You can press D-pad up, right trigger, and left stick down, or you can press D-pad left, then RB, and then right trigger and left stick down. So honestly, I just prefer the first method. It's one less button press, but it's either opening the substitutions menu or opening the custom stunts menu. Like I said, would recommend that you use the substitution menu just because it's one less button press. So again, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. Essentially what I'm doing is running straight down off the snap now, but I'm not going to get called for a penalty because my user's locked in place. So how this is going to benefit me now is I'm going to run directly into the center as soon as they snap the ball, and it's going to allow for my guys to come in clean off the edge. That's why I say this is especially dangerous when you pair this with a stunt, because if you really think about it, you're getting the attention now of the center, and so now they only have 2 blockers on the left side, and because I have a stunt, I'm looping 3 guys on the left side, so we have a 3-on-2 advantage. So really the user lock, right, your user is the guy that's kind of creating the advantage for your defense. So we're gonna go with it again right here, boom, take it. I try to get the attention of the center, and that allows for our guy to come in clean. Now, another key element of this is, yes, you're gonna be able to get instant pressure or very quick pressure just like that, but you wanna make sure that you're getting back into coverage. You don't actually want to stay engaged with this blocker for the entire play, because here's the thing, you're going to get quick pressure, people are going to try to get rid of the ball very quickly, so you need to get back into coverage, and the way that you're going to do that is by spamming the A button on Xbox, or I believe that's X on PlayStation, right? And so once you get off this block, now you see very quickly I'm back into coverage to take away this little quick pass that they could possibly hit. So you're trying to user lock your user in place, get the attention of the center momentarily, and then you're trying to get back into coverage with your user to help defend those quick hitters over the middle. So we're going to go with it again right here, where boom, we're going to take the snap, try to get the attention of the center, and that allows for my guy to come in free off the edge, and I'm just going, I mean, he takes a horrible pursuit angle right there, but I'm able to just defend underneath just like that. So it's like, this is only a 4-man rush if you really think about it, so to be able to get this really quick pressure, that's what makes this left pirate 3-man custom stunt here from Load Mug really unique, right? That's actually part of my Jaguars, defensive ebook if you're interested at the website, but you're going to see how, boom, you're going to use this same mechanic. And I would also always recommend that you pass commit your defense. That's something that I didn't recommend, or that I didn't mention, but you're just able to see how pass commit, no pass commit, I mean, it's just the same thing. You're locking your user in place, you're getting the attention of the center, and he has no choice but to block you. You're getting off the block as quickly as possible by spamming A or X, and then you're back into coverage to take away their quick hitters while you have a 3-on-2 advantage on this side. So really, like I said, you can do this with this blitz with a custom stunt. You can do it from blitzes. You can do this from a lot of different defenses, but the user lock is really what brings the entire scheme and the entire blitz together and creates the advantage for your defensive line. Alright, and that 5th and final hidden pro trick that a lot of pros aren't going to tell you is actually RPO defense. There's a way to know an RPO is coming every single time, and I'm going to show you the best defense to shut it down. Let me show you. Alright, so what we're going to have right here is an RPO from Noble Wild Close. This is RPO alert out, and what you're going to notice when we look at these icons right here is who is each icon, right? The running back is the A button. Now, a lot of the time, on a lot of different RPOs, the running back is going to be the A button, but sometimes he's going to be RB. So when he's A, it's an RPO 95% of the time. But when he's not A, it can still be an RPO. But when you see he's the A button, now you know RPO, 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 that's your tell. In the way that you're going to see he's A, right, because you can't necessarily just look at that, but what you're going to do is you're going to press D-pad to the right twice, then you're going to press A, and then you're going to flip the right stick up. This is going to open all the icons of every single one of these, receivers or pass catchers, right? And so now you're going to see that he's A. That's your confirmation of that an RPO is coming. So what we're going to do now is we know an RPO is coming. We have our tell. Now we're going to defend RPOs. So we're going to shade our coverage down with default hard flats, and then we're going to man up the inside receiver, the slot receiver, whoever he thinks to be getting the ball, right? From like Y-off trip, sometimes it's the tight end that's getting the ball. So depending on the formation, that's who you're manning up, just who you think's going to be getting the ball. Now, a hard flat is going to guard this to Chris Godwin, but the man up is just in case they have extra blockers or the guy gets chipped up or anything like that, just giving yourself like a safety blanket to be able to defend the RPO. So what we're going to see, and then always pass commit, right, so that no one's looking in the backfield to defend the run. So RB and then right stick up to pass commit. So now we're going to see is, yes, we're going to have those two guys breaking on that, and then we're able to get an acrobat diving pick animation, right? That's what I told you would happen though, right? Where both of those guys are looking to defend that RPO because Mike Evans comes up here to block this outside corner, and so he's manned up on them, so he's making a beeline, and then he's also in a pass committed, shaded down hard flat, so he has no business looking in the backfield. So both these guys are just looking right here at this pass, and it's going to be taken away just like that. So, I mean, very, very easy as far as defense to defend RPOs. Again, you're just going to press D-pad right twice, press A, right stick up. You're not manning up the running back. Instead, what you're doing is just doing the confirmation to see, is he the A button, or that would be X on PlayStation. Once you know that's true, right now you just shade your coverage down, and then you're simply going to man up whoever you think's going to be getting the ball, right? And so the great thing about it is it's an RPO, so they have options. If you take away the pass, they can run, which means you still need to be ready to defend the run. So how I would do that is stand 4 yards over the guard on the halfback side, and then just loop around and try to make this tackle. I mean, I'm holding 2 controllers. I just had the easiest gap shoot ever, and I missed, but it's like that lane is just wide open, right? So same thing, do the RPO check, man up this guy, shade the coverage down like this, and now I'm much more prepared to just run in free right here, run in right behind that guy, and make that tackle. Now, what I told you at first in the video, the first thing was heat seeker assist, dive tackling the ball carrier. That's what you want to do right here. Again, I'm holding 2 controllers, so it's hard for me to dive tackle, but it's like right here, you would want to dive tackle him. Don't let him speed boost away, but you also see how much easier it is to stop RPO runs than just regular runs. I mean, this is the easiest gap shoot. Anyone could run through this gap and bring this guy down, but then also understanding that the RPO pass is taken away. So really, when they call RPOs, they're going to have no options. They're just going to get tackled in the backfield because they can't force this pass, because we know an RPO is coming, and now we're just ready to pounce on the run and take that away too. So that's how you stop RPOs. You do the RPO check, and then you just stop the run with your user because they're going to have no choice but to run the ball. All right, so if you found any of those 5 pro tips helpful here at Madden 26, you're going to take any of them into your next game, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. Again, I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks for you guys to get you better every single day. You don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have, but that was only part of everything that I know, and that is featured in Madden University. So what are you thinking? Go down below to the link in the pinned comment. Join today, where your first month is only going to be $1 of all my written breakdowns that you can save on your phone, and you never have to go through surfing through a video to find a specific tip. It's all right in front of you. But if you want to see 5 tips to help your offense specifically here in Madden 26, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.